You're past now, man. All right. I'm out of here. Have a great, I don't know if anybody's going live. Anybody else going live tonight? I might pop over there because I'm still home alone. So if anyone's live, I'll check it out. Yeah, if you've got a channel, make sure you let me know because I want to check it out. So adios. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Heckle or hackle?
Hackle. Okay, Adrian. Yeah, no problem. Yep, so everybody check out everybody's channels. Make sure you got them all supported. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. You making coffee, Kim?
Kim's being quiet. He doesn't want to get picked on.
I'm looking at Adrian's. So I'm wondering why he wasn't coming on. Says he's kind of busy. All right, we see how you are.
I sent them 3 links this morning. He didn't even come on this morning.
I think he did change that email. It's that Kiki now at Yahoo.
Yeah.
I was sending them links last night and they were going to the wrong email.
Wait.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Great to see everyone. I hope everything is working well. Hopefully we get Chelsea and Tyler to come into the Zoom room and we can bring it in on the other side here. But one of the things that we wanted to talk about tonight was the fact of what's going on in our world today and how is it affecting us, and how can we use our abilities, our bushcrafting and our homesteading and everything like that to our abilities. Can you guys hear me? Tyler says, give me a sec. All right, bud. No problem. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Got Chelsea's up in here. There you are, bud. Static.
You'll have to give me a second, Mark. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah,
What's
too.
making noise?
Everything.
Oh, this one.
Audio not great. Smash it. All right.
That's a little bit of a lag delay. I already turned that stupid thing off. You'll have to give me a second, Mark. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. What's making noise? That's a little bit of a lag delay. I already turned that stupid thing off. Give me a second, Mark. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. What's making noise? Oh, sure, now I got no sound. What is going on here? What's making noise? Is your mic dead, Mark?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Alright. Everybody in the chat, can you hear me? Volume is still low. Let me see if I can crank this up.
I gotta figure out what, oh, you know what? It's this thing.
Alright, what I wanted to talk about today, can't hear you, Mark. I should have it fixed. Guys on YouTube, it's going to be a little bit slow. We got her fixed though, but what I want to talk about tonight is how that we can take our skills and use them for what's coming here shortly. Because if guys, if you have not seen what's going on in the real life right now, there's so many turmoils and everything going on, and it could be a lot of hype going on there too. Sounds like an audio loop.
Ran over something.
That one's there. It is an audio loop.
Yes.
So we gotta shut them down, Okay. Chelsea, are you ready yet?
Yeah, I'm good.
You all stretched out?
I was getting like weird echoey effect, but that's only because I had YouTube open still, so it was getting a weird echo delay.
That's not good. Alright, so we're gonna bring up Chelsea here, and we're gonna be coming in on Zoom. Tyler's gonna be coming in here shortly. Display captured. Guys in the chat, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be doing some stuff here because I want to bring in Chelsea. Alright.
Thought I was already in there.
Now we're in, Chelsea.
Question is, what are we in?
You are in Zoom, and when it catches up to us, we should be good.
Wow, so it's showing on your side that there's a little bit of a lag delay too?
Yeah. I'm going to add an audio device for me.
Can I disappear again?
Can you guys hear us okay?
Dude, that's disturbing.
What?
My shirt blends in with the background, so all you see is a floating head and arm.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
Yeah,
creepy.
that's it. Alright, audio input. We're going to add an audio input here. We're going to go new. Source, default.
Oh, hey, there we go. Yeah, that's disturbing.
There we go. We should be audio input. Alright guys, so one of the things that I want to talk about tonight, like I said before, is that, you know, there's been rumors of war and for ages. But how can we apply our skills and our skill set to what's coming up here? So tonight we're going to be talking a lot about that. Once Tyler gets in here, we'll be even going even further into that detail. But there are certain things that you can do with the skills that you have. Hey, Waypoint, what you up to? Glad you could come in and join us. If you want to, Waypoint, load up Zoom and we can bring you in the chat. I want to put the cat out of the bag for everybody. So if you could join us, that would be great. If you can't, we'll do it another time. Just let me know. I will send you the link to Messenger. Not Messenger. I'm using Zoom. Never mind.
Yeah, there's definitely a mad delay between this and YouTube.
Yeah, there is. I see that.
It's like 30 or 40-second delay. It's crazy. So
I could have went live off YouTube. Tyler, close. You gotta move your camera over, buddy. Your green screen is way off.
Whoa. Hold on.
half your cabin looks like it's been eaten by a dinosaur.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, he just left.
Probably had to reset. Hopefully the lighting's good on my side, because, yeah, I gotta buy me a decent backlight.
Alright, I'm gonna have to turn this stuff up here. Hang on a second here. They said they can barely hear me.
I hear you just fine.
Yeah, it's because you're in Zoom.
Yeah, as far as I know, you're watching me Let's see here.
There, Tyler's back. All right, guys, you gotta let me know if this is gonna get extremely loud.
You guys see me and hear me okay?
No,
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
All right. I want to thank everyone for coming in here. Thanks for giving me the heads up last minute.
Oh, you know me. We just do things on the fly here.
Yeah, we do. I want to thank also.
I got my message before he closed the stream down.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for jumping over there to Waypoint Outdoor Adventures. Jumping in their chat, subscribing, and liking. That was awesome. It really does. You know, it shows me the reason why I keep doing what I do is because I have these loyal supporters that will come by and help another channel out, and I do appreciate that tremendously. So thank you again, everyone that had came over there and was showing some support. That means a lot.
I had his note. I got the notification from you because you had a little live that was like saying, "Hey, go jump over here." And then after I watched that through and closed out that window, his icon popped up saying, "Hey, I'm live." So I got both notifications.
That's awesome.
All right, Waypoint, I put it in your personal chat. If you go on Facebook, you will find it there for the Zoom meeting. If you want to join us. Everybody in chat, is my volume better now?
You got to get it up a little bit closer. You're pretty low.
Pretty low yet?
Yeah, you need to bump it up quite a bit more.
I don't want to blow everybody off. I go into certain chat rooms and I just destroy people, and then I gotta turn.
Hey, no problem, Justin. Like I said, that's our community. We help each other out. It's not like we're just doing it just to do it. I mean, you have amazing content. You're really good at your filming, and you're just all around awesome. So it's no problem, man.
I gotta do something different with this background. This thing is gonna drive me nuts.
Looks like a background from like King of the Hill or something, where the guys are out sitting behind the fence drinking a beer.
I actually took this picture from my yard when a couple years back when Arizona was on fire.
Oh wow!
That's what the sky looked like 24/7 for like 4 days.
Someone should play some Pantera because we rock. Yeah, you guys do. You know what? Everyone in the chat, everyone that's has been showing up to our channels and stuff. You give you guys yourself a pat on the back. I like Justin's idea with that little giveaway live stream that he did. I will definitely be doing a giveaway here soon within the next week, just to show my appreciation to you guys for being so awesome. So.
Okay, guys, my audio better now on YouTube land?
Yep, way better.
All right, I thought so. Okay, so one of the things that me and Tyler were talking about here today is what's going on with Iran and how's that going to affect us, and what can we do as homesteaders, bushcrafters, preppers to get through this.
Well, that was interesting.
What was interesting?
My internet connection is unstable, then it started to go out okay, and then the whole screen just shut off and just restarted itself. That was so weird.
We're gonna put the chat in the live stream here. Tired? Come on, Chelsea.
Well, I get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Plus, I was pretty busy at work today.
That's double what I get.
Well, maybe if you'd stop live streaming 24/7, you'd actually get sleep.
It's hard when you have, other people that want you up on their panel, and you got other channels that want you to moderate for them. And like I said,
tell them, give me like a day off.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. I wish it did. But.
When you're a celebrity like Tyler Chelsea, you're needed in places.
I wouldn't say that. But I do like helping people out. Like I said, I have a big heart, and when I can help someone out, it's just I do it. I try to help as much as possible. So, but yeah, like Mark was saying, we was on the topic today, talking about the potential war that could be breaking out due to what happened over the past couple of days and what you can do and what skill set you can practice now because let's say starting off if we had an EMP attack where it wiped out our electrical grid. This happened. It wasn't an EMP attack, but due to the California wildfires, they had, I think it was close to 2 million people, if I'm not mistaken, lose their power for like several days. And out of those several days, there was hundreds of people that had died due to not having no power. Some of them were people that needed the oxygen mask or an oxygen tank that runs off of electricity. So we kind of want to discuss stuff like that. Practicing and honing in on your fire making skills because if you leave in a hurry due to some kind of emergency and you don't have the time to take your lighter or your ferro rods or whatever you may be using, do you know how to do a primitive fire using only what's out in the woods? We want to discuss topics like that and discuss the big picture that everyone sees in case something were to happen. Well, I can pack my bags and go. And a lot of people they pack unnecessary stuff in like extra clothing, or they think if they bring 50 cans of food they're going to be all right. But in reality, if an EMP attacked and it disabled your vehicle, how are you going to be able to carry that much amount of weight to where you need to go, or if you're just if you're going to bunker down into your place or places like that. So lots of good topics tonight. I don't know where Mark kind of wants to start because I kind of just jumped in here.
So the
We
first
can
thing
start on the topic of EMPs on cars. A lot of the modern cars, those are going to be the ones affected because everything in there is electronic components. The older vehicles, like below 90, they're going to have a higher chance of survival in that, mainly because a lot of their stuff, they didn't have a lot of electronics. Once you lose that electronic computer in most modern cars, your car is toast. Because that's what controls gas flow, power flow, everything. Controls your brakes. Once that thing goes, you're toast. But for the most part, considering the fact that your car is actually grounded, an EMP most likely will not affect your vehicles.
Well, and
I've seen
me and
vehicles
Mark
get
was-
hit by lightning and they just drive on by.
See, me and Mark was actually talking about the same exact topic that we're talking about right now. There's a few videos which I probably should have had those pulled up so I can bring those up. But this was a testing site, so I mean this can obviously differ. But this guy was running cars through this electric magnetic pulse that would shoot through as soon as you drive through to experience what a EMP would do to a vehicle. And even though, yes, they are grounded, that EMP hit that car. I think it was a late 2000, early to late 2000 model, somewhere between 2001 to 2005. I can't remember what car it was, but it disabled the vehicle. And because of that vehicle had, like the electronic steering with the cruise control right there on the steering wheel and, the volume button, it actually was smoking and simmering because of that electromagnetic pulse that shot everything, and it actually had the steering wheel start getting really hot and started smoking.
Hey
but,
guys, if you guys can't share this out, don't mean to cut you off, Tyler. Let's share this out. Let's get some more people in here so we can talk about this, because this is really close to what's currently going on in the world, and it's a lot of information that's out there that is going to really help out a bunch of people. And not only am I going to be talking about tonight between Tyler, Chelsea, and myself, and if Justin pops in here, water storage, filtration, EMP, generators, vehicles, food, all those things that could help you in them kind. And if you to make that decision if you're going to stay put where you're at, or if you're going to go and move in the woods and make yourself something that can help you in that time frame.
Generators is another problem with the EMP. Not all of them have electronic components, but some of them have the electronic pull starts. So again, EMP hits that, your generator's toast. But for the most part, they have alternator style running for electricity, and then you have a spark plug, and that's pretty much how that thing runs.
Right.
It's no different than a lawnmower engine.
Hey Nick, Thank you for joining us, my friend. Good to see you. Like I said, guys, let's just share this out. Let's get this out because there's a lot of things that are going to be very important to our community as far as if it's bushcrafting or if it's homesteading or if it's prepping. There's a lot of things in here that we can do to help ourselves out. Tyler's going to go through a lot of the stuff about fire starting. I'm going to talk about some of the things tonight about homesteading and how this can help you in a time of need, because one of the biggest things out here right now is that when we look at, we can talk about the economy, we can talk about a lot of things that are going on, and this can be all hype and it could be all real. I can show you a video. Me and Tyler were talking today about 9/11 and how the Simpsons had it back in, and I don't remember exactly the date, so I'm not going to say that, but I remember seeing a video of them in the future, and they had the Twin Towers going up in 9/11. So this has been predicted in other channels. So if World War III does start out, our life here as we see it right now could change drastically. And some of the skill set that you have, if you're a prepper, homesteader, bushcrafter, can help you out tremendously.
Yeah, I'm dead if that happens, because I'm about 10 miles from an army base. So if they start bombing or drop nukes, I'm toast either way. You guys will never hear from me ever again.
Absolutely, Chicken Farmer. Rick, I love my homesteading. My bushcrafting and my homesteading are neck and neck. I love both of them. I love being in the outdoors, but at the same time, when I'm in the summertime here, it's just amazing what the homestead can produce. So,
Yep, absolutely.
Just keep in mind, Donald, that you cannot hunt in the winter in certain locations because there is no food to hunt other than birds.
and actually, Tyler, was that you that told me about the story about the guy with the 20-some birds, or who was that?
Wasn't me.
Okay, there was I don't know if it was Sty or who was telling me the story, but one of the guys did a bushcraft video, and the only thing out there that he could hunt was chickadees, birds, and he had a big thing all for smoking these birds, and he's eating every single one to get that nutrition and the calorie intake that he was taking in, and that's what happens here in Wisconsin. Depending on the weather time and stuff, it is. If it's extremely cold, the animal's going to hibernate, and all you got is them little chickadees, birds. That's it. Maybe a rabbit. So it becomes scarce.
Right. Knowing how to trap and hunt, it's definitely good practice because, like you said, when we get back to the topic on, trying to take as much as you can from your house in case you figure out that it's probably best for you and your family to meet up or go out to like a bug out location. A lot of people just want to grab and bring, as much food as they can. And even if they can fit it all in their car with, other essentials that you're going to need, eventually that food's going to run out. And then what are you going to do? So knowing how to hunt and how to trap is something very important. It's something I neglected for many, many years. I know a lot of people see the beard and the camo. They always assume that I'm an avid hunter, which I'm not. So
Stereotyping.
What's that?
I said typical stereotyping.
Yeah, I said I have hunted before and I've trapped. I don't do it as much as a lot of people assume I do. So here very soon, I'm going to be brushing up on my trapping and hunting skills along with more primitive ways, because like I said, a lot of people think, for the first 24 to 120 hours after some kind of an event happens where you're kind of left to be in these positions. So knowing, primitive ways to do something you would normally do with a more comfortable, household item will definitely, better your chances on survival.
One of the things you guys got to realize too is depending on your town size, how many stores you have. The normal big box store has 3 to 5 days worth of food in the store. Donald, I like your comment by what you said about you have the fish and everything. We do too, and at that point, all bets are off. If I'm into survival mode and I'm not on my homestead, all bets are off. I will do whatever means necessary to make sure that my family has food. But, hey, Ellen, great to see you. If you think about that, the stores only have 3 to 5 days of food. So, like we were talking today, if a small town, let's say anywhere from 600 to 6,000 people are in that town, how many people in that town are homesteading, bushcrafters, farmers, whatever means necessary? Let's just take out of that 6,000, let's take half of it. Let's be generous tonight. That's 3,000 people that have no clue what they're going to do, and they're counting on that the government is going to help them out. So if you look at your store that holds 3 to 5 days worth of food for 3,000 people, and I'll guarantee you those people that are looking in there are going to be hoarding. They're going to be taking things that they wouldn't even take because they think I'll eat it later. Maybe I'll get that, or I need that. That don't leave much. Now you have
food and dried out food is your best option and stuff like that.
And then we look at this as that, disease. People are getting sick, they're getting hungry, people dying on the streets, whatever else. That becomes airborne. Medicine is going to be very hard to find. EMP happens, you have no fuel because you have no pumps, you have no energy. So the little bit that you have stored up is all you got. These are the things you got to look at and decide if you're going to stay at home or if you're going to go and adventure in the woods.
Which, as Mark just said, when EMPs, when you run out of gas because there's no gas to pump or there's no electricity to pump the gas out of the tanks, again, your generator is going to be useless once you run out of that fuel. You can run a generator the old-fashioned way, but it's really hard if you don't know actually how to properly make a gasifier.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of people that even know how to make a gasifier in order to run a generator like that.
So these are why we're looking at our skill set. Because if you're trapping, you're fishing, you're camping, whatever you're doing, you have a way to get food. And ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be things that you normally wouldn't eat, but after the 5th or 6th day of it running by you, it changes your mind. So those things now become fair game.
I still ain't eating fish.
You'd be surprised what your body will do.
I have not eaten fish in 20 years, and I'm not going to start now.
You say that, though, but like I said, in a survival situation, when you haven't ate for days, you'll be amazed at what your body will allow you to conquer your mind or your feelings on certain things that you're eating.
Most likely eat a bug before I eat fish.
I was gonna say, when you eat worms, or if you eat crickets or ants or termites is another good source of protein. You'd be surprised what you'll be able to eat. And a lot of you got to remember too is that people are also in the same predicament as what you are, but they don't have your skill set. And what's going to happen is that they're going to start picking up stuff and eating things that you would walk right by, and you have disease, everything else on there. So they're going to become very sick, very ill. And these are the things that are going to be floating, like I say, is floating in town.
Well, that's the thing too, is a lot of people don't think about, we're getting some of those cleaning gloves, those rubber yellow cleaning gloves, or even using like sandwich bags to, if you're out somewhere and you have, a homestead that you planned on staying out there, and you have, people that want to come and harm you or your family and take, what you have, and you have to do whatever means necessary to protect your family. There could be bodies laying all over your yard, and eventually you're going to have to get rid of those because that does causes disease and everything else. So you have to know how to dispense of the body properly without getting sick after they've been sitting there for days to weeks on end.
And absolutely, Forerunner, generators hooked on propane is a very good idea.
You run out of propane.
Yeah, until you run out of propane. They have the generators now. They have the Gen 4 generators now that can run on gasoline or propane. You just gotta flip a lever between the two. But at the same time, like you said, if you use it wisely, like our generator will run 14 hours on a gas tank, and I think it'll run 11 hours on a propane tank, and that's like a 30-gallon propane tank. So
Yeah.
Well, if you only use it for the things that you really need, so like charging up battery packs, not solar, that helps too. Helps eliminate the need to use your generator. Because you really want to use your generator if you have like cold storage, or like you want to power your refrigerator longer. You can run that for a couple of hours, get it cold, and your fridge will sit there for, I think it's like 30-something hours before it starts de-thawing all the stuff inside.
well pumps. Think
Or
about
12,
those.
or 12 hours.
Look at that, well pumps.
Listening to your-
You know, look at people for well pumps.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm a perfect example of that because I have a well.
You're gonna have to get one of those old pulley systems with the little wheel on there and the pole and the bucket, and you're just gonna have to reel that thing down to the bottom and reel it back up.
Well,
Well,
you
that's
look
the
at
thing.
look at the difference because your well pumps, your casings are anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, you know, in that category. Look at what and then plus your pump is down there. Plus, if you disturb anything on the walls, when you take your water out, you're contaminating your well water.
You got the message right up on the live stream there, Mark.
Yeah, I see that.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, there's going to be so many different circumstances for what could happen, whether it be AMP attack, whether it be, you know, some kind of air virus. You know, it's hard telling. So in order to prep for those kind of things, you kind of have to think a general idea for what a lot of stuff that you can learn and do to practice that can contribute to all those different factors. I mean, you know, after a nuclear bomb has been dropped, or, you know, just all kinds of stuff like that. So,
Like I said, if they nuke the base over here, I'm toast. I'm like less than 5, maybe 10 miles from that thing.
well, here's the thing too. I mean, people think about, you know, the people that live in some of the bigger cities. I'm pretty fortunate. I live in a town with 300 to 600 people in here. So it wouldn't be that big of an issue for me to get up and leave because I know where I'm at now. There's no way I would want to stay here and hold down the fort pretty much. I know that me and my wife had talked today about a cautious plan in case something were to happen. And let's say I'm at work when this happens, you know, because, you know, this isn't going to happen when you're sitting at home and you're ready for it. This is going to happen when you least expect it, whether you're at work or whether you're, you know, out grocery shopping. We have a plan set up that we had set up today, and we've been talking about this here for a while. We talked about it last time, I think a year ago, and we was talking about in case of this were to happen, where's going to be our meetup spot, because that's what you want. You want to have a meetup spot to meet up someone in case where we come to is going to be compromised or destroyed or whatever the situation may be. So knowing and having a plan like that, and again, you know, bug out bags help, but they're only going to help you for like the first 24 to 72 hours. But it's a good way to, you know, it's a confident booster for, you know, when everything is just hit the wall and you don't know what's going on or what to expect. You do have that little bit of comfort and security knowing that you do have at least enough stuff to get through the first couple of days to get you on your feet, and that's when it really sinks in of what is happening.
Now
So-
let's take this from my side of things, and because if I want to see what's coming, so there is ways to take traps, trip lines, a bunch of other stuff to let you know for early notification if somebody's even coming close to where you're at. You can go down to the dollar store right now and get them little door sensors, so if somebody goes through the door, the thing just bellers. It's on a flap. You can hook that up to a trip line, set it on the edge of your property, and that thing will blast so loud, and in the woods, you're going to hear that coming a mile away. So there's ways to be notified of what's coming on, because we all know about the old tin cans and stuff on a line. And you know what? The first time through that, people are going to realize what just happened. But them tripwires are huge because they don't know where it's coming from. It stops them right in their tracks. So that gives you 30 seconds to another minute of them being stopped from where you're going. So if you put that out 600-700 yards off from where you're stationed at, and you hear that, number one, you know the direction they're coming. Number two, it stops them in their tracks because they have no idea what just happened. It's like putting a flare out. You can also do that, put a flare on a tripwire. There's so many things, you know, I wouldn't necessarily go as far as putting booby traps out there to actually, unless it becomes a life or death situation. But there's some things out there that can notify you to get your family or whoever you have with you to safety in an environment, or get yourself ready because you know somebody's coming in that situation.
There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it takes seconds for stuff to go from good to worse. You know, that goes with after something had already happened and you're on the run, or it could happen from the time that, you know, you find out, like, okay, I need to get out, I need to get away from this location, this is not safe, all that kind of good stuff.
Not only that, but there's a decision that you got to make as a person, as a human being. Okay, when it becomes life or death situation between you and your family or someone else, there's a decision that everybody is going to have to make at that specific point, no matter if you're religious or not. That decision has to be made. And when you cross that line, it's all over. It's never a fun thing. But at least you can do some deterrence and some other ways of getting that person further away to stop them from coming to where they are, because that's the main thing, is you want to make sure that they don't want to come any farther. Obviously, yes, when you have a siren going off in the middle of the woods, let's say I'm at my bushcraft camp and all hell broke loose, and I've got my trap set up and I've got my trip lines and everything else, and a siren goes off, I can guarantee you that person's probably going to go walk away. He's going to come back a different day in another direction, because he knows that somewhere in that area there's something there that made that wire go off. So at that point, you're going to have to pick up and move. So
Yeah, and if you want to, I was going to say, sorry, Mark, if you want to go on the cheap, as Mark was saying earlier, go to the dollar store and buy those trip alarms. You can also buy the little mouse traps. You usually get them in like pack of like 3 or 4 for like $1. After that, what you do is you go to the toy aisle. This is going to sound really stupid, but it'll work, because you all know how loud these things are. You get those little blasting caps, those little red ones that you always get in those little cap guns. You set your mousetrap on a tree with a trigger system like Mark was talking about, like a tripwire, and then you glue a strip of those right where that bar slaps against that wood. I guarantee you that's going to sound like a gunshot when all of those hit at the same time. It'll trigger the intruders to either back off or be more cautious, which will again give you more time.
There's so many things out there that you could do to help yourself out, to allow you more time, because I can tell you this right now, invade is coming and elude is the better option. If you don't have to put up a fight, if you don't have to do something in that category for number one, you stay in a safer environment. So that is what you got to look at, is how can I make this person not want to come any farther. Another cool thing that I'll tell you guys, since Chelsea brought up a mouse trap, is if you can get yourself some, you can buy this at the store, you can hold it on for a couple months, whatever you want to do, and you get a bottle of skunk spray in the outdoor facilities, I'll put it that way, and you put that into a little bag and you put that on that mouse trap, and as soon as that wire's tripped, that bag breaks, that smell is illuminated out. Anybody here in the North Woods already knows that's one animal we don't want to mess around with, is a skunk. So what's going to happen is that person's going to say, I'm done, I'm not going that way because there's a skunk in this area. They're going to turn around. That's actually a better way to get somebody away from you, is because that smell is going to go away. or that smell is going to illuminate. That person's going to walk away and say, "I'm not going to go that way. There's a den there. There's something there."
And now, see, for me, that would actually be the opposite. If I can smell a skunk, what I know is that it's dead or scared something off. But if it's dead, if you follow that smell and you find the carcass, you're most likely going to find something else to eat. Coyote, wolf, fox, maybe a bear or like crows.
Hey,
I
McCoy's
know it
Old
sounds
Farm.
gross, 'cause the smell of skunk is terrible when it's on you personally, but again, it's another way of finding more food.
Yeah, Dragon.
At least in my opinion.
I did see that, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that show and I watched the Doomsday Preppers. I used to love watching that show. I
Guys-
love the ideas that people come up with.
Guys, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't when you came in here, share this out. Let's get more people in here because you're going to get more information and more advice for people to come up here and give more of their side of the story. So let's share this out.
Does
But-
anyone remember the name of the show? They did like 3 seasons of it. It was like on the History Channel / Discovery Channel, where they got like a bunch of people and they like dropped them
What's
off
the
in a
fire?
FEMA camp in like Louisiana after the Hurricane Katrina thing, and they had to like survive there for like 30 days or some shit.
I remember something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I can't either. I've been trying to find it too because I want to rewatch it because in a scenario like that, you learn real quick what you can and can't do, and then you improvise as fast as you can.
Right, Doc. That's we can just stop it by a nuke. I don't think it's actually going to happen. You know, it's hard telling. Like I said, you know, unless you're in the office or you have experimental credits underneath your belt. You know, if you're some kind of VIP or anything like that, a general or something like that, those are the ones who really know. But having that kind of attitude though doesn't help. You know, in case something does were to happen, because you know there's always a possibility. There's people saying that you know it wouldn't happen. There's people saying you know the Great Depression would never happen, but it did. So you know that's the thing. We just want to you know just kind of clear the air, talk about you know different things that you can do to you know help in that kind of a situation when it comes to knowing what to pack, knowing what to have a game plan. You know, a lot of it's common sense, but you know, you just kind of don't think about it until it gets brought up, and that's just kind of what we're doing.
I definitely need better lighting. It's not bright enough in my room.
Hello, Sunshine Cooper. How's it going? But yeah, that's the thing. I've talked to a few people, and a lot of what they were telling me is that you know, I'm just going to take this, I'm going to take that. But you know, when it comes down to it, when you get what you need packed and go where you want to go, what is the next step from there? Can you make a fire primitively? Can you build a shelter if there's no shelter where you're at? Do you know how to harvest foods and plant foods? Because you know it could happen. Something could happen where you're gonna have to be out there for you know days to years. It's hard telling, you know. So you always want to prepare for the most extreme and the unexpected.
Do you know your wild edibles in your area?
In my state, yes. In most other states, no.
You know, do you know the old wives' tales that some of them are not true, like the moss grows on the north side of the tree, or south side of the tree, I'm sorry. That's not
Oh
true.
yeah, moss will grow wherever the hell it wants.
Or like how
grass.
most trees will have the most amount of leaves on the side that get hit by the sun through the west or something like that. There is a lot of wise tales and a lot of common misconceptions on some of those myths or those, you know.
You know, do you know how to, can you build yourself a sundial? You know, a nail and a piece of string is a very important thing inside. Tyler just purchased one of the things that he's like, well, I probably won't ever need it, but just in case, it's a normal compass.
Yep.
Get yourself a good compass.
I've been out in the woods many times. I can pretty much be dropped off in the middle of a cornfield and know where my north is. But you know, in a survival situation or a chaotic, you know, situation where everything is just going wrong, your mind's not thinking right, it's a good reassurance to know that yes, I am going the right way. This is where I said I was going to meet up, for a plan or whatever may come about.
Hey guys, I want to introduce my personal favorite troll, Tommy. It is good to see you. Glad you could come in here, and thank you so much for joining us.
I think it's an Atlas compass, is what it. If I remember right, I have not even looked at it yet. It's still sitting in the bag.
I have 2 military compasses that I will put up to anything. You got to remember too, there's a purpose of a compass is to get you from. It's not actually to tell you where you're at. It's to get to a specific point. Well, it'll tell you where you're at, but also what it's designed to do is get you from point A to point B. So if I want to, you have to also, when you have compasses, learn your latitude and longitude. And that's what a military compass really goes off of. North and south, or North Pole, South Pole, that kind of stuff, yes. But so if you're walking through an area and you want to go south, that's what a compass is going to do. But if you want to go to an exact point and shoot a grid that you can get in there within 100 yards, the military compass will do that.
Yeah.
That's also when you need land nav, though.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, here's the thing: is a lot of people. I mean, how many people still have a map with them, or carry a map in their vehicle or in their backpack? Besides, everyone has a cell phone nowadays, right? I mean, GPS, locations. You can get satellite, on your phone too, where you don't need internet to be active on your phone to use. But, again, in a situation with like an EMP attack, how are you going to navigate to where if you made plans with your family in case of emergency and this is where you guys are going to meet and something were to happen, you had to go there and you didn't have, access to your phone or a GPS or anything like that? How many people can still, read a map and determine where they are and where to get to?
Absolutely, Grace, absolutely. I'm glad you were able to get. She just said that her husband gave her a military compass today. Tyler's absolutely right. How many people you actually have a map, or have the map that can show you where you're at with that kind of stuff in your pack, or even in your car or in your vehicle? Not too many.
I have them in my house. I have like 4 different like full-on U.S. state maps in my house, but I don't have a single one in my car.
So yeah, that's something you should bring, and not only just
I keep forgetting to put one in there. That's why.
But where you're at, your state. That's the most important thing, I think, when it comes to obtaining and keeping a map with you, is for your state. It doesn't really do you much good to get one of those great huge maps with all these other states, and it's not really detailed. You really want a detailed map of your state, and if you have an extra map with all the other states, that's great, that's fine. But having a really detailed map of your state, because when you start going off of a map instead of a GPS system, not only is it frustrating, it's confusing, you haven't done it, or it's been a while. You really want a detailed map because, it is so far more different than what you would see on your phone or your GPS or anything like that. So
now that we're talking about all this stuff, let's do, I don't want to say close quarters combat, but I want to do urban survival. There's things that you can do to help yourself in an urban environment. One of the things is you have a go bag, you have a bob bag. So if you don't know what those things are, a bob bag is get back home. A go bag is somewhere where you're going to grab it, you're going to take it, and you're going to go. I would advise, besides, with everybody that's in this room right now, if you do not have a get home bag, I would put one in your vehicle. And that has the basics in there. It has water, has food, has a shelter, it has something to light a fire with, the basic essentials, a knife, something like that, change of clothes, whatever means necessary. If an EMP would happen and shut the vehicles down, you have that stuff in a backpack in the back of your vehicle you can grab and go. At that time, a flare is a really quick and very fast, efficient way to light a fire. So if you're not good with ferro rods or the old school primitive fire tool, a flare works wonders. These things are, so if you're living in town right now and you have the same thought process as what we have, a go bag or a bob bag is a really good way to do that, to get you the things that you can get back home to your family. And there's tons of videos on YouTube right now that you guys can watch to set these bags up to get what you want. You can, first aid kits, whatever you want to put in there. But I would put water in there. I would put some way to filter water in there. I'd put
That's the
some.
biggest thing.
I would put
is the water filtration.
Put some kind of food in there. I would put some way to cook that food in there. So if it's just a propane torch, or like Tyler had with that little stick burner, some way that you can cook some kind of food to get some energy back in you. Electrolytes, you can, in your water bottle, you could take some Pedialyte, put that in there to make sure your electrolytes are up. Some first aid, some antibiotics, something that you can do that way, just so that you can get home safe. And yet what you want to do is you want to stay off of the high traveled areas. You want to stay in the darkness. You want to stay in the shadows, because you don't want somebody following you, because they're going to think, oh, this guy has something.
All right, you always want to keep your head on a swivel. Always. I practice a lot. I used to practice a lot last year when I would go out and I'd go camp with some buddies. I would test them. We would we would walk train tracks to get to a certain spot. It was up on a cliff. It was actually really dangerous. Kind of stupid doing it, but we really wanted to test our skills in navigating at night, which is something really hard to do because there are a lot of people that live in like city and they have like light pollution. It just isn't the same if you're like out in the middle of nowhere with no light pollution. When it gets dark out, it gets dark out. We would always carry our flashlights, and we did this at least 2 or 3 times a year. We would go to the spot where we would do this. We would make a trail. We made a trail. We'd shut off all of our flashlights. We would wait there for a good 10-15 minutes once we get out of the vehicle, so our eyes can dilate and adjust to that darkness, and we would try to navigate through the dark along a cliffside, in and out, jumping over creeks and all kinds of good stuff to kind of practice that. While at the same time, we're always keeping a 360, having a buddy system in place. That's another thing too. Are you, when something were to happen, are you going to be traveling alone? Do you have a family to bring with you, a close friend? Anyone like that, you gotta understand too when it comes to pairing up or having a family with you.
I think Trail Trash just made a very good comment. One thing that you guys got to realize is there's magnetic fields in the ground, and if you're with a compass, there's areas in our woods that we go to that you can be walking due north. You start walking up that hill, and the thing will go crazy, and when you get to the other side, it will pull you due south. So you got to understand that there's some things that are going to pull you off. I read a comment in the chat here that as you're weaving and wobbling through the trees, another perfect example. That is why you take readings. If it's every hour and a half, something like that, if you're in a long distance walk, at least you get a reading of where you can to readjust where you're at, okay? Because if you want to go north, you know that north is where you want to go. For us, we know the major roads, I know which directions they run, and I know which way the county roads run. So I have a really good idea of what happens in my area, and that's what we're talking about, of being able to understand the area that you're in and the environment that you're going to be in. Are you going to be 200 miles out? Are you going to be within 100 miles of your area? It doesn't really matter because the roads are not going to change. Your state is set up that way. So learn the directions that your state runs their roads. Usually major roads, major highways run north and south.
Your mic's a little messed up there, Mark.
What?
Yeah, getting a weird. Let's see. Oh, that's way too bright. Holy crap.
I don't know what happened. Sound better now?
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
Okay. No, up here, our main highways will run north and south. Our smaller highways will run east to west.
Yep, same here.
That's going to be annoying.
And then our county roads, they usually run whatever every direction that you want to. But you know that, okay, if I got to walk 100 miles, I know that I'm going to run into a major highway because I know that from my area to the next major highway is such and such a distance. That's where your maps are going to come in really handy. If you're in town, though, It's a different ball game because out here we're playing with stuff in the wild. You have lights that are going to be showing. You're going to have people that are going to be following, wondering where you're going. What did you leave? All these other things changes for an urban survival. So if you are somebody that lives in town, I would highly recommend you to look for an escape route, because remember too that when martial law comes in effect, they will lock up the roads tighter than you can't even fart.
Right, and that's another thing too that we're on this topic is, we're talking about out walking or getting away from our location, trying to look very unsuspicious. That could go towards the kind of bag that you have. If you have a big duffel bag and you got stuff hanging out of it and stuff like that, people are going to know that you're up to something. Try to think creatively. I seen someone in a video where they had a big like a violin case, and inside there he had his gun, he had some food, some fire making tips, stuff like that to kind of just help your odds just a little bit too. Helps.
It really does help too, is like you were saying, Tyler, is pants, cargo pants, military pants. You gotta blend in.
Yep.
But a pair of cargo pants, they're a dime a dozen now. Obviously, I wouldn't be running around in camouflage if I'm in an urban environment. It's not gonna match. You're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
That depends on where you're at, actually, Mark. In some states and some cities, that's all you see people wear is camouflage in the middle of the city on the daily. So if that was the case, dude, you could do full camo and nobody would even care.
Well, then you got it really good because you got a whole lot of pockets you can fill it up with, So up here, where I'm at, it would look pretty dumb if I'm in the middle of wintertime and I'm wearing camouflage.
Well, it depends on the camouflage you're wearing. If you're wearing like winter camo, you'd be good. Because then ain't nobody gonna see you.
If I'm in snow camo or if I got my ghillie suit on, yeah, I could.
Yeah, it's a good book. Like I said, I was kind of reading some of this today too. This is a really good to kind of get some of that basic knowledge on different types of situations. It goes into showing wild edibles, wild stuff that you can eat, where it has full color pictures in here. It goes from your deserts to your tropical to your eastern to your northern woodlands, what's out there for food, shelter building, fire building. And like Mark was talking about, in here we have urban survival. There's about a good 60 to 70 pages on just urban survival. That's it comes in really handy. Right here. I mean, this book is something that I would recommend that everyone gets. It covers a lot of topics, from out in the woods to being in the city. It's a really good read. Not a bad price either.
Hey, Tyler, just so you know.
Yep, there you go. Great minds think alike, huh?
Yep.
And that's the thing too, is people gotta understand, if you're people like me, Mark, Chaucer, and a lot of you guys in the chat, you're thinking how we're thinking. When something happens, and a worst case scenario, something happens, we're going to be the people that are going to be out there. If we're trying to get to another location, we know what we're looking for, and guess what? We're not the only people that think this way. There are a lot of other people that think this way too. They have a game plan. They know what they need to do in case of a situation. So.
But let's take this to devil's advocate here. You guys are a beacon to your family or friends that are saying that you're all a bunch of hogwash. Like I've been hearing for 20 years. You're crazy. You're nuts. That's never going to happen. Your military career is got to your head. All the times it screwed you up. This is the things that people are going to look at and they're going to say, okay, this is what he was doing. Let's go find him out. So you might be able to help a family or friend member because of your skill set or your knowledge. So don't be afraid to do that either, because you might save someone's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at it that way. Is that, what? Anybody can call me that I'm nuts and crazy. But when the time comes, who's the first person they're going to call? You. Because you told them back in the day, it's going to click in their head and they're going to say, Hey, I remember Chelsea telling me this. I remember telling her, or Tyler was saying something about this. Just be careful when that happens. Because
Being attacked by an owl.
it will happen. Where are you at now, Chelsea?
I'm actually in my yard. Is where I'm at. That's actually that in front of one of my trees. Oh, this thing still doesn't want to show up on here. This is the one I have.
Bible.
Bushcraft Bible.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I hate the company now because they went to crap, but I actually got this out of a battle box.
Like I said, with bushcrafting, there's a lot of good stuff that you can use in survival situations. The thing about bushcrafting is when you go to, the term bushcraft is about thriving in the woods, thriving in your environment, wanting to stay out there the longest. Survival is typically a 48 to a 72-hour period where you're trying to get in and get out. So learning bushcrafting skills, along with homesteading skills, is something that I think a lot of people should know, because in a survival situation, or anything that happens, nuclear war, or anything that you're out in the woods for, you want to have that mindset of staying out there for a long time. You don't want to think that, okay, I'm going to be out here for a week, everything's going to be fine, I'm going to return back home, no issues. You want to have that mindset that you're going to be out there for a long time. Here's another good book that I love reading. This is Advanced Bushcraft. This is part of the Bushcraft 101 series. This is a step further with the advanced.
I need to get that one.
It is a good book. It is a lot of good knowledge in there,
I only thought Dave had 3 of the books, because I've got the First Aid, the Bushcraft 101, and then Bushcraft Guide to Field Trapping and Cooking.
Yeah, he's got many sets. And if you don't like reading, like I don't really like reading unless I'm out camping or anything like that. The thing is you can get all these on your phone through Audible or Amazon Prime movie book, whatever it's called. So if you're on a long trip, and let's say we're just talking now, if you're on a long trip, or you're going to spend the whole day, it's going to be a boring day, you have the option to throw in headphones. You can listen to these books, online. So,
Actually, Trail Trash, you're absolutely right. In the service, they teach us redundancy, and you have your primary, your secondary, and your tertiary, which means 3. In bushcrafting, there's a different concept. You have your first, which is Plan A, your second, which is Plan B, you got Plan C, and you got Plan D, and you got Plan E. So you're gonna have 5. So if I'm going out in the woods, put this plainly, is I'm gonna have 5 ways in my pack to start a fire. I'm gonna have 5 ways to make sure that I can get water. So that means in the wintertime that if I have to put snow in the cup to heat it up, I got water. Now remember, 1 foot of snow is 1 inch of water. But I got water. I got a filtration system. I have ways to make one. So I will have a collapsible water. I don't have one in here, but I was just thinking we just bought water today. But I will take a water jug or a water thing and I'll collapse it and put it in the bottom of my pack. Because I know that I can make a filter system by using charcoal out of my fire, long grass, gravel, sand. I got some way to filter water. That is my last resort, obviously, guys. I'll use my my Berkey or something like that.
I mean, even if you don't have the means, you don't have the sand, the gravel, moss, or anything to kind of make a jerry-rigged water filtration system, or you don't have a water purifier or water tablets that you could use. I'm sure a lot of people, and I know Trail Trash Outdoors has seen it. That's kind of what his channel is all about. Is you will find bottles or cans out in the woods almost all the time. It's sad, but it's the truth. You'll always see bottles out laying around everywhere. You can literally take a bottle, collect stream water with it, cut it in half, and boil that water. That plastic won't melt. As long as you have the water full on it, that plastic won't melt at all. So you can actually kind of boil out some of those contaminants that are in that water. It's not recommended. You won't die from it unless you're doing some crazy amounts of it. But for a short-term survival situation, and your life depended on it, you can easily get away with boiling some of that water and not worry about the repercussions of getting sick, E. coli, or anything that may be in that water.
If you guys
Boil
can,
water in a rubber glove too.
if you guys can though, find steel, glass, plastic will leach the contaminants out of the plastic when you put it in a fire. So I try to stay away from that as much as I possibly can.
Right.
So if you
But
can,
I'm just saying, there's a lot of that in the woods that you will see.
absolutely,
And,
soda cans, beer cans, anything like that, you can find, use it. You know, that's a cool thing about homesteading and homesteaders is we use everything. If it isn't once, it's twice. If it's 3 times or 4 times, we're going to use it over and over and over again. Rednecks, people pick on rednecks every single day. Well, they are the biggest bushcrafters, homesteaders I've ever seen in my life, because they use everything they possibly can. And you know what? Then when they're done with it, the neighbor comes and grabs it and they use it again. That's the key to this, guys. You guys have the skill set that you need. Don't be afraid to what's coming on here. Just be aware of what we're talking about, because you guys have that set. Everybody in here is either a bushcrafter, he's a homesteader, he might be the biggest redneck in the world. Whatever, you have that skill set. Just use it.
Redneck sitting right here.
Oh, same here. I may act a little professional when I do my videos, but believe me, I'll find the cheapest, easiest way to do whatever I need to do. If I need to make something up and I can't afford, a lot of my times I was using a lot of like the cheap dollar store stuff for lenses for my camera, even though I have an expensive camera. It's just all about using. That's the strongest thing you need to take with you is your mind. Because the things, as long as you can be creative in what you're doing, your odds of survival is far more than a lot of people that can't really use their imagination for a lot of things that they may come across to in the woods.
9-volt battery and steel wool, great way to start a fire.
Yeah, a AA battery and a wrapper from a gun. There's many things you guys can do. Again, back to the clear bottle. If you can find a Coca-Cola bottle, plastic bottle out in the woods that I'm sure everyone has seen at least once in their visits out there, you can strip off the label on that, fill it up with water, make a nice cinder bunch, and you can use that bottle because of the curvature of that bottle. You can start a fire with it. There's an old expression where someone thought this guy was cocky because he said he can make fire with ice. I mean, that's something else you can do. You can literally make fire with an ice cube.
The other thing, guys, too, is don't throw the water bottle like Tyler says, because the other thing you can do, and I know it isn't the most pleasant thing to do, but you can pee in that bottle and you can use it to warm it up. You stick it in your shirt if you're cold. That is body temp. It's 98.8 degrees. You can use it for a warmer. We're going to be talking about the what do you call that stove that you put in the ground, Tyler? Not a Dutch oven, but what is that?
Oh God, I knew it.
The camp oven? What are you talking about?
No, that's like a Kentucky fire hole.
Yeah, where you dig a hole in the ground and you have your pot on top.
Right.
You feed it in.
A rocket stove? That's it.
No. It's similar to a rocket stove, but you dig a hole into the dirt and you make like a kind of like a trench.
Somebody
so you
in
have
chat,
fire on one side, and then you have your cooking section on the other side.
Somebody in chat will tell us. But anyway, you guys, that thing is fire hot. And you won't throw out a lot of smoke. Oh, it's a Dakota Fire.
It's a Dakota Fire stove.
Yep, there it is. I just said Dakota Fire is what it is. That thing will put out very little smoke. A good way to cook food quick, and you can move on. I was just thinking about that.
Do keep in mind, though, in order to make those a lot more smokeless, add rocks or gravel to the bottom where your fire's at. That way you get more O2 flow through there. Because if you just set the wood on the bottom of the dirt hole, all the dirt's going to fall in wherever your cook pot's at, and it's just going to smother that fire, and it's going to smoke like a signal fire.
Herbert T, Dakota Fire, that's what it is.
Yep.
But that's what I'm saying, guys. Look at everybody in the chat, no matter who you are, you know what we're talking about. So you have the
Everyone
skills
has
and you have the
something to
ability.
contribute.
You just have to hone them, and you get out there and do things that would make you a little bit uncomfortable, because let me tell you, when you're in a stressful environment and the adrenaline is at high point, you're stressed out, you're going to do things that you normally wouldn't want to do. Okay? So if you put yourself in a practice mode, just like you guys, anybody in this chat is that likes to shoot guns, I want you to try something. Do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, and immediately go to the gun and try to hit a target. Try that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now.
You
You ain't going to do that because your heart is pumping so fast that even if you're on target, you think you're going to hit, you're going to miss that thing by a good 3 feet.
You can do it. You just have to have the training to do it. And the only way
it's mostly military training.
well, the only way to get that kind of training is through practice, right?
Yep.
True.
Okay, so like if I'm going through it like we just did here, and we're talking about this with Tyler, if I want to do a mock EMP, I throw the fuse and say, okay, here we go. You have to practice, no matter what. If the first time you rode a bike, how much time did you practice riding that bike before you actually were able to, or you didn't have your dad following you behind you to make sure you didn't fall?
I also learned it in sand, so that was not easy.
You have to practice this stuff, guys, no matter how you look at it. So whatever you can do to practice, if it's taking a ride out, throwing your bob bags in, getting home, walking home, taking the closest way to get home, or going out to a camp, or whatever means necessary, practice makes perfect. You can do this stuff. It just takes practice. And just like I just said, if you want to see how bad it really is and what this environment is going to be, go do 20 push-ups, do 20 sit-ups, and jump up and try to hit a target. That'll give you a close example of what you're going to be dealing with. Because like Chaucer just said, your heart's pumping, you're up, your adrenaline is up, and you go to try to pull that trigger, and if you can't catch that breath perfect and get that, and if you're not exhaling and all that other stuff to pull that correctly, you're going to be off 3 to 4 feet, just like Chaucer said. But you can do it. You just got to practice.
And then as you were saying, Mark, about the bicycles and all that, going back a little bit almost to the beginning of the video where we were talking about like bug out bags and all that stuff, I actually have a camel pack that I usually take when I'm biking, and I actually have pretty much like an inch or bob bag in that. I've got a sleeping bag, I got a Mylar tarp, I've got water collection, I have ways of making fire and cooking because I have a jet boil stove sitting in there, and that's an all-encompass cook system. You've got your fuel and your canister. I even have a little silverware set in there as well, along with about 80 feet of cord.
Oh, I got another vet in the room. You see
Yeah,
that?
Travis served.
Travis, thanks for your service, buddy. I appreciate it. There's things that we can do that we don't even realize. Like Chelsea was saying, for his area, he's got his bag set up perfectly. That's what I'm talking about. Is set it up for your environment. The things that you're going to do. Look at a chameleon. What does it do? Chelsea, you're down south. You know these things better than anybody. What do? They blend in.
Sorry, I missed like half of that because my internet's kind of being all weird tonight.
I said you're down south. What does a chameleon do?
Blends in with everything.
Exactly. That's what we need to do.
You know, oddly enough, down here where I live, we actually have a lot of cyclists because we have a decent amount of bike path along the river. So, you know, seeing a cyclist with a bag on there, nobody thinks anything different other than, hey, he's probably got a toolkit in there to fix his tires. He's probably got a spare tire, air pump, and some extra patches. Most of the time, they'll usually have like 1 or 2 granola bars on them, and then like an extra shirt or some gloves. That's it. But for the most part, you can get a huge bike bag, fill that thing with God knows what you want to stick in there for survival, bike on down the road, and in most places, nobody's going to even think twice about you. Because they're just going to be like, hey, it's just another cyclist on the road.
Here you go, Travis. Just for you, buddy.
Does that say dishonorable?
Nope. Not likely. Dishonorable.
Yeah, I'm just giving you crap, Mark.
I know. That's why I love you, Chelsea. You got things that everybody in this room has to offer anybody and everybody. So, you know, this is why we were talking for so long, is communicate, talk with each other, be a part of the group. Because when the crap hits the fan, STHF, anything else, any one of these groups, any outdoor channel, any bushcraft channel, any homestead channel, any prepper channel, or any survival channel, can give you a next step, another skill set that you can use when it happens. And that's all it's about.
Yeah, like Travis said over there for, Trail Trash, the spare, if you have a spare inner tube anywhere you go, that's like almost a gallon and a half of water, depending on the size of the tube. All you got to do is cut the stem off, wash that sucker out, and you have water. You can have warm water too, considering most tires are black, or at least the inner tubes, so no matter where you go, you're going to have warm water. Not exactly the greatest thing to drink when it's 105 degrees outside, but then again, your body doesn't have to try to warm up the water you're drinking normally to that temperature. It's already that hot.
I don't have 105 degree temperature here.
We do here in the summertime. It sucks.
We actually have high temperatures in the summertime too, due to all the cornfields that are surrounding us. The humidity here is ridiculous. 3 years back, we had like 115 degree temperature, and I don't know if that was with the heat index, if that was actual, but I can tell you it's hot. You know, doing construction, working out there, we had to take lots of breaks.
Hey,
one of the things I saw in the comments is someone said that
Tyler, hang on a second. Two family, thank you so much for coming in here and driving by. If you guys have not seen Two Family Homestead, please go and check them out. You won't be disappointed. They do a lot of help for the smaller YouTube community. My very first time on YouTube was in a live stream in their chat that helped boost my channel up. So please go by and check out Two Family Homestead.
Absolutely. Back to what I was saying about the comments. It says Tyler has a lot of books. I have a lot of good, survival books and bushcrafting, but I think one of the best books you guys can have is the Bible. In my opinion, when everything has gone wrong and you have a really strong faith in your religion, this book I think would get me through a lot more than any of these other books, any of these survival bushcrafting books. I think this book right here is what would really get me through some of the worst or rough times that I have. So,
Tyler, that makes me proud when you say that, because that's my favorite book. You know that.
Yeah, I do. And
I swear, sometimes I'm the opposite of both you guys. That's like my most hated book, to be honest.
Well, see,
that's all personal preference.
That's the thing, though, Charles. I think we talked about this the other night when I was live. We could have totally different opinions. We can, you may have a different political point of view than I do, religious point of view than I do, but at the same time, we can still sit here, be really good friends, talk about, stuff that we do have in common with, and we don't let politics and we don't let religion get in between our friendship,
Definitely.
So, that's that. You don't find too many people out there like that. When a lot of people say, they support, our president, or they believe in this religion, usually that's when people say, what, I don't want no part of you. But here we are, we're sitting here, best of friends, and we can talk and talk about what we're passionate about, bushcrafting, prepping, survival, homesteading. So that's that's the beauty, and that's what I love about a lot of the people that I meet.
Oh yeah, well, you're going to get opposing opinions on just about everything with just about anybody you meet, but it's like you said, it's finding that common ground with that person which that helps, get everything to where you need to be. You can have opposing goals, it doesn't matter, but as long as you have, some goals that are the same, you can get along with just about anybody.
Absolutely.
Really, we're all just people anyway, so, we're not robots.
And here's a thing too. You can kind of look at this Bible. For a lot of people that do enjoy the Bible, you can look at this as a survival book, because a lot of what people don't know, and what I believe really strongly about, is what Bible stands for. Bible stands for Basic Information Before Leaving Earth, spelled out Bible. And that's kind of your instructions, and that's kind of what gets you through, your life here. In my opinion.
That's an interesting one. I've never actually heard of it said that way.
Not only what that tells you for, but that is your trail guide to who you are, who you stand, what you stand for. You ever think about that? That is who you are, and it gives you the guidelines. And not only that, I talked to Tyler today about what's going on here, living in Revelation. And I'm not going to get into Revelation. I'm not going to preach or anything like that, but it gives you a really good idea what has happened and what is going to happen. And when you see the difference between that book is your guide in life. And Tyler made a perfect example of your building up to get to a next stage in life. No matter how you look at it, if you're atheist, if you're Jewish, if you're Catholic, however, you're building up for that next stage in life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Howie. Don't look in somebody else's eye. Exactly. But that's the key. I have a Bible in my backpack. I know a lot of people that know me very well. They know where I stand and who I am. But it brings me closer to someone that I care a lot about, and that I can feel that love and compassion and that intimate relationship with someone else. That's cool. And when you're down and out and you got no one else to look up to or no one else to go to, you always know you have an advocate.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying that one. Because otherwise I can go on for hours and hours and hours.
Here's another thing too. A lot of people don't think about, because it depends on where you live and that time of year. I always carry like 5 or 6 of these hand warmers in here. This goes back to using your imagination. Hand warmers, yes, they keep your hands warm, but these things can do so much more than just that. You could take these things apart, use them as fire material. You could use these for, cooking your food or, all kinds of situations,
Tyler,
you gotta always think, what's that?
You have to get out of my mind. Really. You're getting bad.
I'm sorry.
Look at, here it is. I just picked these up at Walmart today because they were on sale after Christmas special. I'm like, hey!
Again, great minds think alike,
Yeah, I ain't got no hand warmers here, bro, because I don't need them. I really don't.
See,
unless you live up in the Sandias, dude, where I live, you do not need hand warmers.
That's the thing, though, Chaucer. Me and Mark were talking today that, if we had a nuclear disaster, what one of our biggest targets are? It's not the White House. It's not, certain military bases. It's the Yellowstone.
Super volcano?
Yeah. The super volcano. That thing will. Mark was telling me today. He said 15 to 16 inches of dust on the ground when it explodes, and imagine how long that's going to stay up in the atmosphere. Realistically, we could be talking about another ice age if that thing blows up.
That
would be a
nuclear winter
killer. It would kill off like 75% of humanity, because that's a 50-mile wide caldera. If that thing blows, we are toast.
And the other thing that you guys got to remember is China knows that. So if I was China and I wanted to take out America because I wanted to be the superpower, where would I plant a missile?
Right there in Wyoming.
Exactly, because I know it's going to take out 90% of the United States. Right there, it's going to put you in a nuclear winter. And if anybody hasn't seen what a nuclear winter is all about, history does talk about it. There's videos on YouTube. You can watch it. Because I can guarantee you no one is ready for that. Because that puts out, that's in places, in New York City, they were talking to 16 to 18 inches of ash. That is just, you can't even imagine it. So if you're closer, and all the way down to Texas. So if you're in that realm of Texas, New York, California, you can expect 16 to 18 inches. And everything farther towards or closer to Yellowstone, you're going to get more.
Or you're going to get obliterated.
Yep. And guess what?
It'd be like, I think they said that it would be like Mount St. Helens times like 1,000.
Yeah.
If that thing went.
It is. It's crazy to think about that, but you got to look at these statistical nut jobs that are out there. All right. So we have stuff that makes people disappear. All you got to do is launch a missile. Yeah, we have some stuff that can take missiles out in midair. We have lasers that can do all that fun stuff too. All right, but let's say one gets by and hits that bad boy. And like Chelsea just said, bye-bye. Mount St. Helens, drop one on top of that. It's sleeping now, but you just blow a big old hole in it, and that impact, that pushes all that power down through the earth and cracks that volcano.
Yeah, Dragon Stallone, I've heard the same thing. It wouldn't just be U.S. It would be worldwide, and it would be for years.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, depending on the way the wind blows after that attack, if somebody hits that, wherever that ash is going to go, those are going to be the states that are going to be affected first. Most other states are going to take a day or two, but within, I think they said 2 weeks, the entire Earth would be covered with just ash from that one place.
See, that's the thing too, is that's going to cause huge issues for our ozone layers, for our atmosphere. When something like that happens, we're talking a catastrophic event, level 7. It's hard telling what would happen after that point, the kind of damage it would cause. One can only speculate and only try to prepare to the fullest on what we could do for a situation like that.
Great to see you, Sandy K. Truth Free is good to see you. I'm glad you're in here. Who else have I missed? Because I know we're not covering everybody in here. Those that are not in the chat and that are listening, thank you so much for joining us.
So we were up to 33 at one point.
But all you guys, you got to all think of this different things, is because these are all different scenarios. An EMP will knock us back to the 1500s. A shot at Yellowstone. Bye-bye Earth.
Oh, not only that, when most volcanoes erupt, they actually send off an EMP wave.
Exactly.
So, again, if Yellowstone goes, that is a massive EMP wave that's going to wipe out most electronics within probably a state or two from that area.
And that's the thing too, is we're not, if something were like that to happen, I don't know exactly how, if we would hear it. If you're, let's say you're in Florida or up north in New York, if something were like that to happen, that state and the surrounding states may not have a means of communication. I don't know how far advanced, what we really have that our military has that we could get that message across. I'm sure, living in this day and age, we have far more advanced technology than we did way back. But who knows until it really happens? Who knows what can withstand something like that as far as the EMP effect of a volcano going off like that? And you're all the way up, on West Coast or East Coast, and they have no means of saying, hey, this just happened, this is, whatever. So.
Here's another thing, Howie, that I wanted to talk about, is because you just brought a really good point up, is there's a bunch of people out there that think that they can put a thing underground and put a HEPA filter or anything else on there, and they're good to go. All right, so if I'm a prepper and I go plant myself in the ground and I've got air vents coming up to get fresh air, and I have a HEPA filter in there. All right, now let's throw this around, and I'm a militia, knowing that you have something in the ground. I see the pipe sticking out of the ground, and I go and cover them pipes up. Or on top of that, I put a CS canister down the pipe, and I go wait at your door, because sooner or later you got to come out. And a militia is going to have more than one person, so if you got a back door or you have somewhere else, they're going to be watching that area. That's why I'm not too fond about putting myself under the ground, because every rat has a hole, and you can always get a rat out of the hole with some smoke.
Yep.
Well said. Well said.
Not to pick on you, Howie, I love you, man, but I watched Doomsday Preppers, and I watched all these guys, and I'm just cussing at the TV, going, "What are you guys thinking?"
See, and that's a lot of it too. Is in a shit hits the fan scenario. There's a couple of guys on YouTube that I watch that'll even state that they're preppers, and preppers are going to be the first ones everybody's going to target, because they're the ones hoarding all the guns, all the water, all the ammo, all the food. They're going to have a year's worth of provisions stashed away somewhere. They're going to be the first ones to get smacked.
And what did I tell you today, Tyler?
Yeah. No, I know. Like I said, I have a fair amount of food. You know, I have I have a lot, endless amount of MRE meals. I have a lot of water store up. I have, you know, all different means, but I know at the end of the day,
No.
I'm better off on the move, finding a location and then moving, becoming more of a survivalist than a bushcrafter or, you know, homesteader, based on what I know. So I know that where I'm at now, it wouldn't fly. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, in a case like that, will end up being basically, it's going to be like Mad Max.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a group of people to survive with, because it's a lot easier to do that than trying to do it on your own for an extended period of time.
Well, I might disagree with a little bit there with you, Chaucer, just for the simple fact that this kind of relates today at me and my good friend that we've been good friends with since we was kids are having argument. But, you know, if you're around the same person for, let's say, 2-3 months, there's going to be some aggravation. There's going to be some, you know, it's going to be intense. So not always, and you can never predict too in a shit hits the fan scenario, you know, what that person might do for his own sake and for his life, or if he has, you know, family to get back to, you know, what is he willing to do? You know, it's hard to describe, but it would, if I was with, you know, my wife and with my daughter, I know that I would be fine. But if I had, you know, someone who had a great level of expertise, you know, at the end of the day, if something were to happen, if food's getting low, you know, we're running out of supplies, I need to make a decision. Am I going to be the one that survives, or is he going to be the one that survives? You know, at the end of the day, I have a family to look out for, and that person may have a family to look out for. So, you know, you got to understand that when you are traveling with a bunch of people, stuff starts getting low, frustration starts getting high, just to be aware and be cautious.
Not only that, Tyler.
I agree with you on that, actually.
Guys, if you haven't thought about things and you think that we're all nuts, and you think that what we're saying is crazy, I do understand that, because it does sound pretty crazy. But go and check out some of the highlights of the conspiracy theories on The Simpsons and other things, because you're going to see things that just don't make sense.
And the bad thing is we're not talking, you know, little coincidences. We're talking movement for movement, words for words, the same scenes, the same backgrounds. There was one where The Simpsons predicted that Trump would meet with the Saudi Arabia king or whatever, and they had a little globe, and they had the purple curtains. And that show was aired like 16 years ago. But everything in that picture was right on the money. It's like if he was a if Matt Groening, or I forgot what
Time
the
traveler.
yeah, you would think he was a time traveler. Just for a simple, it wasn't only that. He predicted, Trump would win. He predicted 9/11. He predicted the biggest one was Fox and Disney becoming, coming together, and Disney buying over Fox. And look what happened. I mean, there's been so many predictions when it comes to Simpsons that is the one. That's the one thing that really scares me, and that's the one thing that I always kind of look forward to now watching, is to see what's going to happen next. We're not talking 5, 10 just coincidences that something happened. We're talking 50 to 100 different situations that happened that the Simpsons predicted, and it's so detailed.
The other thing, guys, too, is Howie just brought up a really good point. Usually in my intros, you're going to see, God bless the men and women that served, and don't forget about our men in blue, men and women in blue, but also the homeless, because there are people out there that just are, we have money, thousands of millions of dollars to ship overseas, but we can't take care of our own at home. And one thing that we learned for us service members is no one ever gets left behind. Ever. So if you have a chance, please help someone out. And take care of my friend, and God bless, Howie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if there's ever a case, like you said, when the grid goes down and things go sideways, honestly, take a homeless dude with you. Those guys know how to stay warm. They know where to find food.
Yeah.
They know how to survive because they've been doing it.
Absolutely.
Everybody might consider them the dredges of society, but in all reality, those guys know how to survive better than most of us city folks ever will.
Exactly. You're right on the money there, Chaucer.
The ex-guys in the service, we can sit here and we can preach and we can talk. Yeah, we were trained. But Chaucer has a very, very good point. Some of the closest people that might be living on the street that you drive by every day and say, I'll get them tomorrow. Maybe today's the day. Because that person might save your life.
I've done that a few times, actually. Had a guy approach me in a parking lot. I was coming out from eating a burger, and I didn't have any more cash on me, and I had card, but I had a big old box of chips in the back of my car, and I gave that dude a whole bunch of bags of chips and some Fritos, and that guy, his face lit up. He was so happy just to have those bags of chips over anything else. I've done it a few times. I had leftovers, like a leftover hot dog and a burger from a meal I had, because I got a little overzealous and bought more than I could eat, and saw a dude standing on the corner, and I just handed him the bag. No questions asked, just gave it to him.
That's great. That we're all one person. We are all the same. We all bleed the same color. We're here to help each other out. No matter where you stand, if you're rich or if you're poor. Last time I checked, we're all human. And the good book says we're supposed to take care of our fellow brothers and sisters. Remember that when you see somebody sitting on the side. Or, like Chaucer just said, giving that extra hot dog to the guy in the street. It makes a big difference, and that changes their thought process. And when you're sitting there and you're fighting through that time when the time is rough, and that homeless guy comes up and the one that you just gave a hot dog to, and he says, "Come with me, and I'll show you way," you might want to listen to him.
Yeah, not everything in this world is for naught. It goes back to the whole scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You help somebody out, and later in life, randomly occurred, you can go 20 years without seeing that dude, and all of a sudden he pops up out of nowhere and be like, "Hey man, you remember that time you gave me something?" He's like, "Here, this is for your troubles." And he could just give you straight up out of nowhere $5,000 or something else.
Absolutely.
It really just depends, because you just by by doing that one simple act, you turn that dude's life around.
Exactly. We are out here to do the same thing over and over and over again. We get into this walk. We go to work, we come home, go to work, we come home, we go to bed, we go to work, we come home. Every day. At a blink of an eye, that all can change. Your stress levels are going to go up, your anxiety is going to go up, and you're going to get scared. Everybody gets scared. The question is do you know where you stand? That is the question that only you can answer yourself.
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Mark's absolutely right. Things can change at an instant. Like I said, I do construction. I work, in the summertime and late fall, all the way up till like a month ago. I was working full time, working 70, 80 hours, and guess what? That all came to a stop. Work got slow, bad weather, issues, stuff like that. So I felt pretty useless for like the last month because I haven't been able to provide for my family and support them the way that I normally do. So like I said, things can change at an instant.
We all fall short somewhere down the line. We all have roadblocks in the way. We can overcome when we will.
Oh yeah, my roadblock started this year with my car breaking down and I had to repair the brakes. So it took me, what is it? Today's the 4th. I got it fixed yesterday.
Like I said, Chuck, you need to keep your head up. There was one of the worst times that I can ever remember. I had just started working for a new company. I was actually a technician for Stivers Ford in Lincoln. I was working on their cars. The car that I had, my motor blew up. With the first day there, it blew up on the way home. I scrambled to have what money I had left over to buy a real cheap, truck to get back and forth. And the next day I went to work, and I had to borrow some money from my parents. I had around $1,500 to spend on a truck, and I bought one that I thought was really good. I took that truck to work the next day. The transmission blew up on me on the way there. I had to hitch a ride from some random person who was just nice enough to stop and give me a ride. I wasn't too far away. And at the time, I lived about roughly to an hour and 10 minutes away from where I was working. So that was crappy. 2 cars within 2 days apart blowing up on me. And when I got home that day and I was explaining to my parents what happened, I had a law enforcement officer come to the house saying that I had wrote a bad check, and they were considering it money laundering. And granted, I've never been a bank person. I never wrote a check in my life. Turns out my ex had my social security number, opened a bank account up, and did something with did something where she made a checking account with my name in it and cashed it, and it came back and it was in my name, and they said if I didn't come up with $1,200 right then and there, I'd be going to jail. So I had 2 cars blown up on me within 2 days, and then I had an officer at my door saying I was going to be placed in jail if I didn't come up with another $1,200 to give them. So even though I wasn't at fault, I never wrote a check in my life. It was in my name. It was something that had to be taken care of right then and there. So with me, when I have bad luck, it doesn't rain, it pours. So if I can make it through some times like that, like I said, I was just starting that job too. I had all my money invested in that second vehicle that I bought that second day in, and it blew up on me. And then I had to scrape up another $1,200 on top of that for something that I didn't do.
That is some bad luck. That is some bad luck.
So if we look at it this way, we all have had bad luck, right?
Yep.
I've had bad luck, but not nearly as bad as Tyler's, man. The karma fairy just took a dump on him, and it was just like, here, have this big old pile.
There was a point where I'm just sitting there, and I said, you know what? Whatever happens next, it's not going to affect me, because after my car blew up, and I had that little bit of a backup plan where I had a little money saved up for this job, and I bought that truck. And then when that transmission went out on me, I was kind of just like, there's no way this is getting worse. And then, like I said, someone writes a check in my name, and now I have to pay the consequences for it. So, if I can get through that, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter about any of that stuff. It doesn't matter like how bad your luck has it. If someone that wasn't close to you didn't die, if you're not gonna die, or you're not gonna get painfully ill or anything like that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It may be a bad situation now, but we can overcome it. And that wasn't the only time too. Back when I was 18, I bought my first car, brand new, right off the showroom floor. Paid around $22,000 for it. I was making payments on it. I was 18. I was young and dumb. I took it off the lot, signed the paperwork over, and my aunt had called me, said that she wants me to take up my niece up to Audubon, which is 2 hours away from where I lived, in the middle of deer season. And I was like, you know what? I got a new car. Yeah, I'll take her. No problem. No issues. We can hang out and go drop her off. Didn't have insurance on it. I didn't even put insurance on it yet. They let me drive it off the lot without insurance. About an hour and a half in on that trip, about 10 o'clock at night, I hit a deer, totaled the car out with no insurance on it.
Ouch.
And guess what? All the way up until like 2 years ago, I was paying on that car and had to pay it off.
So guys, what I want to say is that I just put a link in here. And you're all like, what's going on, Mark? Why you got a GoFundMe account in your chat? Tyler's coming up here in the second week of February. We have the date set now. And we are going to be doing a 7-day extreme winter challenge. Tyler just explained to you that he is laid off right now. He has a young, very young daughter. And he's got a wife at home. To help fund him to come up by me and spend 7 wonderful days in extreme Wisconsin weather.
He says wonderful.
The GoFundMe is there to help support that. So if you guys can, if it's in the GoFundMe, or if it's watching his channels and his videos and his ads, however means necessary to help out Tyler so that he can get his carcass to me so that I can take it out in the woods with me, would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have
by the way,
what?
Oh, no, go continue, Mark.
And we're going to have a great time, and we're going to have a lot of cool things, a lot of cool videos, a lot of new gear, and a lot of old school gear. And we're going to have some valuable good time. Because you know what? This might be, according to our chat tonight, this might be the last time for a long time that we can do this. So I want to go out in a bang, however I want to look at it. I'm going to have a good time. I get to spend time with some really good friends, and I get to show you guys some really cool stuff. So if you can, please go and help out Tyler so that he can get him up here, and make sure that when he gets back home, everything is taken care of.
Yep, that's the biggest thing. Like I said, that's my biggest worry. It's kind of hard going out there and doing, a winter survival 7-day trip, knowing that I haven't been working for like the last month due to being laid off, and there's still bills that need to be paid at home, the gas, the gear, everything that ties into it, new batteries, all kinds of stuff that you don't really think about for when you go and do these kind of trips. It does cost money to get up there, money to get back home, money on the road for gas, food, whatever it may be. So,
are you flying up there, or are you driving up there?
I'm driving up there.
That won't be that far of a drive. It's what, state and a half?
Yeah, it's around 7-hour trip. 7-hour trip.
Oh, that's not too bad. So you're looking at.
You got to keep in mind, I do drive a '96 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So, and it's 4-wheel drive all time. So it doesn't get the best gas.
Yeah, you're looking at what, like 18 miles on the highway, maybe 21.
I'm thinking more around 16 to 18 on highway, 12 to 13 in highway or city.
Yeah, we don't have all big trucks like you, Tyler, or Charles.
What's that?
What was that, Mark?
I said we don't have all them big old trucks like you got.
I got a 95 Chevy S10 that's broke down because I need to repair the clutch again. And then I have an Isuzu Rodeo, like a 2004.
I'm just picking on you because you left me a message saying I got a small truck.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
As my 6-month-old pup is laying underneath it, he just calls me and says I got a small truck.
Hey, Dad.
What, buddy?
Did you eat the pizza?
No.
Well, I had to message him for the chat code for this thingy again, so I messaged him on Instagram saying, hey, I was like, you got a tiny trunk, Mark. That's why I posted it in the chat, too, because I figured you'd see both of them and realize what the heck I was talking about.
Hey, Freaky, good to see you.
Absolutely good to see you.
That's the other cool thing about this is that we have a lot of people that are tried and true to our channel. So if you're listening right now, if you're new to our live streams, or if you're new to Tyler's channel, you're new to my channel, there's people in this chat right now that are 100% true. There's a guy in this panel right now that refuses to do any videos because he says he has no time.
I'm getting there. Give me, Jesus, I have to have time off.
But he's another one of those
Busy all
guys
week.
that I will tell you a little story about Chelsea. Tyler brought him over to my channel, and Chelsea has been here ever since. He's been to every single one of my live streams. He's been up on my panel. He's been everywhere else. He's been true 100%.
I'm like Visa MasterCard, accepted everywhere.
Yeah, you can't find another one better than that. You can pound him down, and he keeps coming. I like that. But guys,
You can't get rid of me. I'm worse than herpes.
so when Chelsea does go live, guys, please go check out Chelsea. And if you do not have Chelsea's channel, please subscribe, because when his video does come out, he has me to back him up on some stuff. He has Tyler to back him up on some stuff. So he will have a really great video to show you for his first video.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll have a good following at least. I'm not filming on 1080p or 4K. I'm gonna be filming on my shitty. Man, I can't even get this thing. Doesn't even pop up.
Hey guys, by the way,
Crappy
did Chelsea did Tyler tell you we did a test run with a 4K video for doing live streaming?
No, did you?
Yep.
How'd that work out?
It was phenomenal. Tyler was telling me he's got a 4K television, and he's telling me how well it looked. And I did a private stream just to see what it was. It was just unbelievable. So we're gonna have a video coming out. I'm not gonna release everything that we do, but there's a way that you can use to shoot 4K live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if my phone will actually do that, to be honest.
I see a lot of, like I said, I see a lot of people that come over here from my channel, or some people that maybe from Mark's channel that come on my channel, that I see that I know their names. They come in here all the time, like Dammit85, William, Ryan. I think I've seen Ryan in every single live stream. Grace Martin, I think she's been around for a while, and I've seen her in every video.
With him on the truck for quota. Yeah, go look at the video.
I've seen so many of you guys, and
So don't have.
that's the greatest gratification I can get on YouTube. It isn't the money, it isn't the fame. It's knowing that I have these people that I see every time I post something, whether it be a picture on my community tab of upcoming stuff, or if it's a live stream, a premiere, whatever it may be. I see these people, and that's, to me, one of the greatest things ever, is because they're faithful, they're loyal, they're always there. They always want to see what I have going on next. Because like I said, when I started YouTube, I was not expecting to grow as fast as I did with what is today? The 4th? So
Yeah.
in 6 days that will be my official 1 year on YouTube. And I was not expecting a larger following. I was happy to get 10 views at the time. So it's truly amazing to see that these people come back and they want more and more. Cause I don't, like I said, I've always considered myself, I'm no one special. I'm not no expert by any means. But I see you guys, and you guys keep coming back and commenting and being in the live streams and participating. That, to me, like I said, is worth $1 million itself. I wouldn't trade that for anything.
I think I got 8 more days, and I'll have been on here for 13 years.
Nice.
and I still haven't posted a video.
I said I made a YouTube account in 2012, which is this one. I just never did anything with it until last year, because I made it just to watch videos. I never made it for thinking that one day I would create videos myself. So I'm truly blessed. Like I said, it's one of the best feelings in the world to know that it's like you guys are my friends. I show up on your screen and you guys want to come and hang out with me. I mean, I can't ask for much more.
Actually, I stand corrected. I got 3 more days, and I've been on here since. Let's see, I started this in 2012, or sorry, 2012.
All right,
3 more days, it'll be, Jesus, forever. I don't want to do math right now. I've been doing math all day. Not meth, math.
Freaky, you're asking me if I have done any more live streams with my chat, and absolutely we have. We have gone to Streamlabs. Streamlabs is the only software that is on the market right now that is streaming in pure 1080 unless you're paying for it. So we really got to look at how we're doing things. And one of the biggest things that I want to talk about is that Streamlabs will get you to 1080, Freaky. And we've been trying this out now, and I'm using Zoom to bring everybody in. I get rid of the other software. And you are seeing now the repercussions of that. So
But yeah, it's like I said, this whole a lot of this is trending right now, whether it be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any of those other social media platforms, about the possibility of entering World War III. And what we wanted to do, like I said, is just talk simple tips that could potentially save your life due to an emergency or some kind of catastrophic event, war breakout, anything like that. Because you're just never going to have, nothing plans out the way you want to. We could sit here and say you can have a game plan for this and that, but when something actually happens, your mind may not work properly to know that you do have a game plan, and that you can hurry up and you say, well, I know what I'm going to grab and throw it in a bag. When you've got all that stuff going on through your mind, it's a whole nother ball game.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So my question is, guys, do you like the full screen version, or do you like the 3 of us on a panel at one time? Let me know in the chat.
Yep, absolutely right.
Definitely need a better lighting system because this thing is driving me nuts.
Actually, Chelsea, your live stream looks really good tonight. Really.
No, not my live stream, my lighting.
Well,
This doohickey.
I mean,
I gotta figure something out with this because this thing's just like blaring right in my eyes. It's driving me insane.
McCoy's Oak Hill Farm. Yeah, we're using Zoom for this live stream.
McCoy Farms this year.
We got Travis all amped up.
All you gotta do is line that thing with foil and you're good to go.
Anybody that knows what a Faraday cage is, I'm happy.
If nothing bad happens, I'll learn from the scary situation and stock up.
Oh, Nicholas. You might there's some cases where you might not have the chance to learn. It's going to be a all or nothing kind of thing.
Yeah, like I say, it all depends on what kind of situation unfolds from it. That one of the best things that they teach you, like in the Army or with anything survival related, is having a mindset and knowing what you're doing before you go out there, because knowing is half the battle.
Absolutely.
Dr. Evil. No, I can't.
We're talking about these EMP proof boxes. I mean, You guys tell me what would be some things that you would put in there. That's what I'm curious to know. What would you consider is worthy of taking up space for AMP blast box?
Well,
I would say a two-way radio personally, but
I
that's
was-
going to be pointless without a signal tower. EMP hits, your signal tower is down anyway.
Well, you got to go back older than that, though, Chaucer.
I
Maybe
was
something like a ham radio or a CB ham radio mix. I actually have, which is in a bedroom, of course, but I have a CB ham radio. It's a handheld one. It's by Baofeng. I don't know if, or is it by I think it's by Baofeng.
Yeah, the
you know-
Bofang. Yeah,
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
I think what I would do is if it was me, I'd be putting a ham radio in there. I would be putting my cell phone in there, just in case something would come up later on and some kind of a radio or communication to get that, so I could hear something later on down the road. So I'd be looking at that. The only bad thing is, obviously, is that cell phones do give out your location. So if you're trying to hide and you brought that back out, you might give your location away when the GPS kicks on. But
It's always best too to have a prepaid phone too.
Burner phones.
Prepaid phones are not as bad as what everyone thinks. I actually use mine a lot. What I have is this is an iPhone prepaid one. I pay $55 a month. I get unlimited data, unlimited talk, unlimited text, and I get unlimited hotspot to get on Wi-Fi on my computer. If I bring my computer with me, I can just turn my phone on and I can get Wi-Fi right through there. And the good thing about these is if I turn this on, people are looking for me. The way that these phones work is they bounce off between 3 to 5 different towers. So you're never going to get an accurate location on where you're at. You're going to get a general idea. But if you're someone that lives where I live, out here, we have roughly 10 towers within our area. And we're talking, 15 to 20 miles of area to cover. And if I'm just out there by myself, it would be very hard to find. So, it's even better if you live in a city. You live in a city and you turn one of those on, they're going to have a hard time finding you.
Well, they can pinpoint you with your GPS signal, but I think it's within like 50 or 100 feet. I think they're down to 50 feet now with GPS tracking. Or closer than that, depending on what system you're running. But yeah, no, I think I would throw in, like I said, me personally, probably two-way radios. But yeah, Tyler said is with the Bofang, Sam radios or whatever.
ham radio.
Ham radios, Sam radios, or the NOAA weather station radios.
Well, see, that's the thing about those ham CB radios. I have the National Emergency Disaster Program in there for Channel 1. Channel 2, I have my local police station. Channel 3, I have a direct line to where the other CB radio is that's already in a location that I know when, shit hits the fan, that person's going to grab it, and we have a means of communication through that way, too. That to me, that's one of the most important things, too, and, for putting it in a box, because, like I said, that thing, you can pick up a lot of military frequencies, especially if if they come in and do like a martial law situation where they come in and they shut down your town, your city, whatever. Is that they will actually pick those up too. There's people that said they haven't. I have seen proof of people picking up aircrafts through them. All kinds of things too. So they're really good and really useful, and they're really cheap.
If you get a good enough two-way radio, you can get those signals too, but you have to have one of the high-end two-way radios.
Here's the thing when it comes to that. You can buy these antenna boosters for them, and then you can buy what they're called. They're called like a SAT-3, which is a receiver and a signal booster. Now, what I have, which I hate talking about it because I don't like talking about it out loud, but I have these throughout my town everywhere. I've got one that I have placed up in a tree, and these are run off of little solar panels, so it's always going to have some kind of power or juice to it, where I can literally use that CB ham radio here to probably where Mark is. I think I might bring an extra one and give it to Mark, and I can show that using these and using these SAT-3 attachments that you can get for these ham CB radios is that you can do these cross country. I can be sitting here where I'm at, and I can be talking to Mark at a click of a button.
Absolutely. So, guys, Tyler, when you want to shut out the podcast, what are we going to do that one next?
I wish I don't know, because like I said, there could be a possibility I'd be going back to work Monday. I'm still waiting on an answer back. I was told January 6th that there might be a little bit of work there to do. I'm not sure. I want to say, especially now that you have a change of schedule, what works best for you, I guess I should say.
Probably it'll be Saturday night or Sunday.
Next week?
So tomorrow?
Whenever. I mean, the weekends always look better. But what we're
Right.
talking about, guys, is that every week we do a bushcraft podcast. And this is going to lead into the 7-day Extreme Winter Challenge. So if you're on my side of things and you do not have Tyler, put something in the chat so people can pick you up, because every
I
week
can
we
just
do.
post his link.
Every day we do.
Here's Tyler's channel, everybody. If you haven't checked him out, please go here.
We do that. We're at the 2-hour mark here, so we're going to be getting off here shortly, so I can go spend some time with the family and do things like that. But I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. We are also going to be talking about some things that we're going to be doing here in the near future with the Extreme Challenge. So you're going to see Tyler with some gear reviews. You're going to start seeing me with some of the gear. You obviously have seen some of the stuff come out with the new cameras and mics. Tonight we're using some of the mics that we're going to be going out in the woods with, the wireless mics. So keep watching that and keep an eye on the radio for what's going on, because if something does happen, you know that you have some way out. If that, you can hit us up on an email. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and now Instagram. You can find Tyler on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find Mr. Chelser on Instagram and pretty soon on YouTube.
YouTube, if you search for me. If you don't see the fox icon, you're looking at the wrong person. I'm literally the only one on YouTube with that icon. And trust me, I've looked.
So Tyler, you want to add anything to this?
No, like I said, me and Mark will probably talk after this live stream and get a date set. It could be tomorrow, or it could be maybe sometime next week. We're going to talk about that, but everyone that's came in, showing support to all of our channels, like I said again, it's one of the best feelings in the world to see that, so I do appreciate it. It definitely helps, us sleep at night, and less worry on our shoulders, and
As the guy who only sleeps like 3 hours.
a week, yep.
If that.
Donald Morris, am I going to be going live? Not tonight. Like I said, I have a lot of business stuff to attend to, as far as talking with some of the sponsors for this video that are coming up. I got to talk with, like I said, Mark about, our future plans on YouTube here, and just a lot of other stuff I need to get done that I've been neglecting, especially when I could be going back to work here Monday. So I want to make sure all that good stuff is all set up too.
Have a good night, Ryan. It was a pleasure having you in here with us tonight.
Absolutely, guys. I'm glad to see everybody in here. I'm glad to see you came. Please, like I said, later on, share this out. It does help each and every one of us, and including yourself. So
I need to find my Facebook link and drop it in there, because like I said, I just created a Facebook account. So
I can drop it in there if you want me to.
I think I have it. I don't know.
I got it right here. You beat me?
I think I did.
Yes, he did.
Okay. There you guys go. You can catch Tyler on Facebook. So,
I
like
appreciate
always,
it.
guys, take care, be safe, and God bless. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us. Please, if you haven't, hit that thumbs up and share this out on your way out the door. It's appreciated. Check us out for our podcast that we'll be doing on bushcrafting. and we'll see you soon. Take care, all. God bless.
Take care, everyone.
Porn film with that exit music going back there. I don't know why it seemed that way.
Be right back, guys.
No, it's looks like it's over. He's rolling the trails here. It'll be good. We'll see his setup going over there, so he still has a live on Zoom. This is just you and me on here, so I don't think anyone listening. We're the only three that have the Zoom thing for it, so done live streaming.
I went to the drink.
Same benefits just got over on the stream's over. What's that? Oh, Margaret.
Yeah, it's the way to
Done now. I don't know, I forgot how long this exit outro is. There's still a huge squad. I'm actually surprised and shocked. I think it probably weighs about 4 pounds. Dang it, that's good.
We had a nice setup. We had a full house. We didn't have no trolls, no haters.
Yeah, you notice our favorite troll wasn't there. That's because I recorded it. And the other day, he straight up, like, one of the comments that was hidden on your live when we were on that one, said on there, he goes, Fox is a homo, so I recorded his ass.
I don't get why people are like that.
So, like, every stream, too, he did, that's all he was doing, he was like, oh, snooze man, Fox, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm done with you. I'm trying to be nice, trying to give him his due. That went a little too far because it wasn't, I think I was on your live stream too. I was just like, I'm done with it. I understand that. It'll be easier once you get a new computer and you can actually access all that Yeah, I think it was, I was talking about that yesterday, about how it takes you forever to upload videos because your computer takes forever to process everything. All you gotta do is just start deleting programs you don't normally use, and it'll actually.
I've already refragged this whole computer, and I have just I literally.